not on the field, court, or ice. You're on the couch. From DG to DC, this is Coaching from the Couch with your host, C. Wall, delivering coverage for all DC sports teams from the hometown perspective. Nats, Skins, Mystics, DC United, Washington Wizards, Caps, Bowie State.
My name's C-Wall, I'm a PG girl. Down for my skins, I don't know if you heard. If you like watching sports, then I am your girl. Sit down on the couch if you not on the field. Cold on the ice, pick any sport that you want. Know that I cover it tight. What would you like? From baseball to football and more. The list can go on the whole night. Big shouts out to my HBCU fam. Never forget who I am through the wins and the losses, the highs and the lows. We gotta stay strong, so I stay 10 toes. Make the competition back. The way I kick it, make them mad, man. See all that we live and direct. Sit back on the couch and relax. Come on.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Coaching from the Couch. This is your weekly DMV Sports update. And I am your host, C-Wall, checking in, you all, to just say, hey, we made it another week. And look, we got a lot to talk about. It's always so much to talk about. You all listen, before we get into anything, you all know now, we always have to go through the list of action items and things that we must do. And I see that you all are already doing them. Okay, I see the C-Wall team has checked in. Joy and Mazdak, have you all said hello to Mama Waller? I've seen Eric Jessup check in. And while you all are saying hello to each other, while you're hitting that love button and sharing the show with your DMV Sports loving family and friends, I have to remind you all that this is a live Bowie Television recording. Everything we're putting here goes straight to Bowie Television. So shout out to the crew at Bowie Television, also to Darrell Owens, who is always like my partner in crime on all things Bowie TV. So listen, you all, are you ready? We got so much to talk about. Make sure you are sharing this show. Make sure you are tagging everyone in because there's so much to discuss. Wow, we got a DC Divas update, a Washington Spirit update, a Nats update, Mystics update, and of course, Commanders. Has everyone shared the show? Tag your folks in, hit the love button, say hello to each other, because we have a lot to get through, and we're going to get through all of it. Okay. First up, the DC Divas. We have to check in for the DC Divas, the women's football team in the area. The DC Divas are having their tryouts for the 2023 season on Saturday, August the 27th. The tryouts will take place at Meridian High School in Falls Church, Virginia from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. So shout out to the Divas. If anyone is interested in trying out for the Women's Football League, make sure you head on out to Meridian and Falls Church. Again, that is Saturday, August the 27th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Okay? Next up, Washington Spirit fans. There's a Washington Spirit update that I have to share with you all. Gotta share with you all. Shout out to the Washington Spirit, high five, and all those things. First up, this is relevant to Audi Field and soccer overall. This was huge news this week, you all. That Audi Field in DC will host the 2022 National Women's Soccer League Championship. This is huge. This is a prime time game. Mark your calendars. Try to get tickets. This is awesome. So awesome for the Women's Soccer League. So awesome for the city. So awesome for Audi Field. Shout out to everybody that worked on this and has just done their part to contribute and wanting to bring that event to prime time. That's absolutely amazing. So, hey, look, try to get a ticket. Also, right now, the Washington Spirit, you can enter to win 2 tickets to upcoming Washington Spirit games in September. So, look, you all don't want to miss all of the action happening. A lot of positive things. Definitely want to go back to this comment here from Cameron Mingo. I've never heard of the DC Divas. Well, you heard it here first on Bowie Television's live recording with Seawall Sports and Entertainment. The DC Divas are in the building. Amazing team. They play out of the St. James. So listen, you got a DC Divas update. You got a Washington Spirit update. Now, and not so pleasant news for the Washington Spirit is the Washington Spirit announced earlier this week that head coach Chris Ward had been relieved of his duties. Wow. Chris was so instrumental in helping the Spirit win that championship through all of the craziness last season. Officially became the head coach last December. And the Washington Spirit, they had that championship flow and glow going last season, but this season only have won 1 game. So Coach Ward was absolutely relieved of his duties. Remains to be seen what the team does going forward. But hey, we know across all sports, listen, winning is the name of the game. That bottom line, getting that championship, that's absolutely so very important. And unfortunately, the Washington Spirit went on a losing streak and just have not been able to bounce back just yet. Okay, so best of luck to Coach Ward, and stay tuned. We'll keep tracking to see what the Washington Spirit do with the head coach role. Nats fans, check in. Got to see a love button or a fire emoji in the chat. So, listen, here's the reality. Not much really going on with the Nats. But we got to talk about you know what. One thing before we get into you know what. The Nationals have announced their 2023 schedule on their social media. Make sure you go and check that out and just already plan ahead. Look ahead to the future, because this season was not good, is not good, any of the above. Well, would you look at this? Ted Leonsis has emerged as a potential buyer of the Washington Nationals. And we know that this was already discussed about potential buyers, but this is now definitely like a for sure thing that this is kind of happening, and that he's almost at like the top of the running for the team. Also, by the way, because this is still applicable, Ted Leonsis as the primary owner of Monumental Sports and Entertainment, Ted is just buying up everything, isn't he? He's in the process of becoming the sole owner of NBC Sports Washington. So what happened is, the same day that it was announced that Ted, Monumental Sports and Entertainment, was in the process of becoming the sole owner of NBC Sports Washington, it also comes out, hey, guess what's happening? Ted is looking like he just might buy the Nats also. Nothing final, nothing automatic, but that news came out the same day. Ted is buying up everything. So we'll see if that goes through. I'm not sure how folks feel about Ted buying up everything, but at the same token, he's definitely in the running, top of the running for the Washington Nationals. Okay, drop in the chat how you're feeling about that. And I want to pause right here for a moment, because I know some folks are not always positive about the direction that Ted may take some of his teams. We've definitely heard the notion that Ted doesn't care about the Wizards. He puts all of his energy into the Capitals, um, into the Mystics. I mean, he has championship rings now with the Caps, with the Mystics. The Wizards District Gaming team was actually in the 2K playoffs right now. As I'm talking to you all, they are champions as well. So it's not like he doesn't have some championship rings. However, I guess folks feel like when it comes to certain sports, he just doesn't, it doesn't matter to him. And maybe it's a notion of he just doesn't have the time or the bandwidth because of all that he is participating in. But I don't know. I see Eric's comment here, in Ted we trust. So, hey, maybe he buys it. Maybe it becomes official. Maybe someone beats him out of the running. Who knows? But, when we first started tracking this story about the Nats owners and organizations saying they were exploring a sale, hey, listen, what do we say here? It's absolutely on sale. It's not on sale. So with that being said, it's all coming as it's flat out and honest as it can be. I see a question here. I'm seeing stuff about the Commanders coming up when it comes to Ted Leonsis. And does he own a part of? No, he doesn't own a part of the Commanders. And this is Curtis' question. That's the Snyders. They have that. They now have co-ownership, co-CEO-ship, Dan and Tanya Snyder of the Commanders. He's not involved with them at all. So we'll see what happens. Ted is just buying up everything. And I'm not mad. I like it. I think it's kind of cool. I just like to see the moves being made. Now, what does that mean for the leadership and where the teams go? Who knows? But Ted is definitely making his mark all the way around. Mystics fans, check in. And before we get into the you-know-what of the Mystics, let's first celebrate Shakira Austin on making and being named to the 2022 WNBA All-Rookie Team. Absolutely well-deserved. Shakira, she did an amazing job this season. So much positivity, such a bright spot in every single game that she played. Well-deserved, absolutely, Shakira. Would have liked to have seen her get, Rookie of the Year, but she didn't, which is fine. But hey, making the all-rookie team is amazing. Very, very proud of Shakira and everything she's accomplished. Now, with the Mystics losing in the first round, first thing is first, they got to change this format because I'm like, the best of three, it's crazy. But I would say, hey, listen, and I want to definitely acknowledge this comment here from Dave Thomas. Absolutely. Shakira, Natasha, Ariel, Alina Deladon, Alicia Clark, Maisha Hines-Allen, you just name it. The team, Shatori, Walker Kimbrough, everybody. What happened is what I feared would happen. And I had shared this on a couple of podcasts before. It was, they would lose game one and wouldn't be able to bounce back. They would go all the way to the West Coast, not having an opportunity to come home. And I think overall, let's just be fair and right in this conversation. And that is the Seattle Storm are a good team. And we all know that, right? They have the legendary Sue Bird, who's going on her retirement tour right now, right? But between Jewel Lloyd, Brianna Stewart. Oh, by the way, Tina Charles, Washington Mystics fans, you know who Tina Charles is. And they went then snagged Tina when Tina made her move from the Phoenix Mercury. The Mystics absolutely are the number one defensive team in the WNBA. But that power at offense and the Seattle Storm at home, they're perfect. They're pretty much, if it's ever a definition of what perfect would be like in a world that we know nothing is perfect, but if there ever was a way to say this is perfect, it would be the Seattle Storm playing at home. So that was just a tough deal that the Mystics got. Now, I still believe whoever was to win that series will probably go on and win the championship, because it doesn't get any better than that matchup right there. And you hate to see it, because it was only, 2 games, only, a 3-game series. So while I see, Cameron, I saw your comment about the format, which absolutely I agree. They definitely need to change that format, as I mentioned, as soon as we started talking about this. But to be fair and objective, the Seattle Storm beasts. They are. The way the shooting percentage, I mean, you name it, they did it. They did it. They got everything right. And it's hard to bounce back once they won at home. Because that first game, and I said this on my page, and that was, Alina Deladon has a game like that, you have to win the game. Because games like that are few and far between. Let's just be for real. I mean, she's amazing, and so is the whole entire team. But you got to come away with that W to at least split and then try to get home, right, for that game 3. But with them having the amazing game that they had and still coming up with the loss, the Seattle Storm knew they had them. The Seattle Storm knew they had them. And the crowd knew they had them. Because with Alina Deladon having such a dynamite game in game 1, and the Seattle Storm still coming away with that win, they figured, oh, we can beat them. And they did. The overall vibe from the team in the press conferences, and then the other day in the end of season of availability, they were just in shock. They were defeated. I've been saying it all season. They've been saying it all season. The goal is to win a championship. So I could tell they were in pain. Everybody, the coaches, the players, I could tell they were in pain. Alicia Clark mentioned in her presser that she was still trying to process everything. They really wanted to win, and they put forth their best effort. I do feel that way. I mean, sure, you're going to make some mistakes along the way, but they lost to a great team. And so hopefully everyone takes the time they need to recuperate, rejuvenate, do whatever it is they need to do, and come back better than ever for the next season. So kudos to the Mystics. I know it hurts. I know they were absent. I think they were even shocked. Because they were definitely hoping at least to get home for game 3. But these things happen. So chin up, Mystics fans. Chin up to the Mystics. You all did great, and looking forward to the next season. All right, next up, Commanders fans. Where are you, Commanders fans? Check in, hit that love button. Put that fire emoji in the chat, and let's just go through some of the updates for this week. The team announced that Sonny Jurgensen will have his jersey retired, number 9, never to be worn again, during rivalry weekend against the Dallas Cowboys. That game will take place January 7th or the 8th. Let's see what else is going on here. Yes, the Commanders reach an injury settlement with the tight end Sammy's Reyes, and he was definitely first on this news was JP Finlay, but he was definitely ended up being released by the team. He posted a really nice Instagram post to the Commanders fans, so you all check that out when you get a chance. Also released this week, the Commanders released wide receiver Kelvin Harmon and veteran offensive tackle Rashad Hill. On the PUP list to start the season, no surprises here. Center Tyler Lawson will start out on the PUP list, as well as Chase Young. And guess who's back, you all? Wes Martin. Do y'all remember Wes Martin? Wes Martin is back with the Commanders. He was claimed off of waivers from Jacksonville. So he's back. Welcome back to Wes. And I think those were some other updates I shared with you all on the Washington Commanders update, that Coach Rivera had said that he wasn't sure who was playing on Saturday. And Coach Rivera is sticking to his word. He's not said anything any different. He's not committed to who would play anything. He's not committing to it at all. So, I don't know. Drop any questions you have in the chat. Let's spend some time together. Sometimes I take questions before the show, others while we're on. I just take them live. But preseason game 3, I absolutely think that, I mentioned this before, in that this isn't like preseason from before when it was 4 games and nobody played. None of the starters played in any of the games, in the 4th game anyway. I think there's absolutely a reason why they would want to play the starters at least for a quarter in preseason game 3. I think the second preseason game just did not go well at all. So there could definitely be a decision made to say, hey, play these folks. I think that the team just didn't play well. And so I would play them. I would absolutely play them. Because you don't want to see what you saw game 2 on week 1. I see Damon's question here and drop some other questions in the chat. Is Brian Robinson number 1 running back now? No decisions have been made. I know how they've been practicing, and that's kind of still rotating players. So no decisions have been made on who's going 1, 2, not on the team. I see Terrence here and probably want to jump to this, but it could backfire as well if they play. I mean, hey, the team was just that bad in preseason game 2 that I'm like, they need to play. Curtis, I see your question here. They're worried about injuries. You can't turn it on and off. They need to play a quarter. I mean, I absolutely, that's what I was mentioning. Hey, preseason game 2 did not go well. It went poorly. So they absolutely need to play at least a quarter. I mean, injuries are a thing anywhere. Every single snap. It has absolutely, every single snap, it's an issue. Every single snap, practice, preseason, regular season, every single snap, there is a concern potentially of injuries. So that's just the game of football. You don't ever want anybody to get hurt. You don't ever want to see anybody get hurt anytime, anywhere. But just based on the showing in preseason game 2, definitely, if it was me making the decision, okay, sure, you don't have to tell the media and announce it to the world what you're going to do. But I know I would do at least a quarter. Especially after preseason game 2, I would be like, oh no. So, more to come on that. Any more questions? Any other questions? I know there's still so many conversations about Antonio Gibson. And, again, Coach Ron Rivera has not committed to any player playing in any spot as of yet. He's and that's his right. He can keep that. So it kind of is what that is. It's not, and that's how Ron communicates. So it's not unusual, is what I'm saying. His communication style is not unusual at all. Damon said, I think Jack should be on the hot seat. He should. I mean, hey, listen, they fired the defensive line coach. I think that was more than enough. Just more than enough notice that Ron is really taking a hard look at what's happening on defense. And he's trying to piece together what's wrong. So if I had a D-line coach, okay, I would think as well, Demond, that the next person, could potentially be the coordinator. So, hey, listen. Which player is in danger of not making the team? Well, there are several players in danger of not making the team. You can only get 53, but here's what I'll say. I don't think there's going to be any surprises. I think, I don't think there's a well-known name that is not going to make the 53, if that makes sense. Someone that, fans know, is familiar with the organization. I don't think that anybody is, in danger that's not going to make the 53, because you can't have more than 53. So I think that is what that is. And I'm going to stick to that. I mean, I don't imagine there being any surprising news of anybody not making the 53 that we wouldn't have made it anyway. Any new stadium updates? Nope, nothing. Same old, same old. I mean, I do want to mention to you all, I'm sure you all heard the news of how much the team is worth. And per Forbes, the team is up in the money rankings, and the team is sixth in sports businesses. So that says a lot. It says a lot. And it's something that I've continued to address and talk to when fans ask questions about the stadium. They ask questions about Dan Snyder. They ask all of these types of questions about him selling the team, him, whatever the case may be. And the reality is, as long as the team is making money, and the team absolutely is making money, it's going to be hard to get him out. So, questions and content on rapid fire. You all got like another minute or so to go to see if you have any other questions. Listen, I hope they play the starters at least for a bit. Preseason game 3 at M&T Bank Stadium. So let's just see what happens. Let's see what happens. I'll have more to share from a Jacksonville perspective once we get past the roster cuts, and once we get past the holiday. We're definitely at time for the show, but let's keep our eyes open. And you never know. Hey, if even if they don't play the starters, if they do, hey, maybe someone else emerges in that game that you all are really, really impressed with, and they end up getting a spot. And maybe there is a surprise. But right now, I don't think there's any surprises. All right, you guys, another show wrapped up, bringing you all of the weekly DMV Sports updates. You guys have been great. You've been amazing, as always. Make sure you are stayed locked in with the news right here, Seawall Sports and Entertainment and Bowie Television, you all. Okay, so you all stay safe, and I'll be seeing you guys again soon.
You're not on the field, court, or ice. You're on the couch. From PG to DC, this is Coaching from the Couch with your host, C. Wall. Delivering coverage for all DC sports teams from the hometown perspective. Nats, Skins, Mystics, DC United, Washington Wizards, Caps, Bowie State.
My name's C-Wall, I'm a PG girl. Down for my skins, I don't know if you heard. If you like watching sports, then I am your girl. Sit down on the couch if you not on the field. Cold on the ice, pick any sport that you want. Know that I cover it tight. What would you like? From baseball to football and more. The list can go on the whole night. Big shouts out to my HBCU fam. Never forget who I am through the wins and the losses, the highs and the lows. We gotta stay strong, so I stay 10 toes. Make the competition back. The way I kick it, make them mad, man. See all that we live and direct. Sit back on the couch and relax. Come on.